Hi students, this is A. Srinivas, lecturer in physics, Vignan Junior College, Vatlanamudi. Students, we are discussing JEE Advanced Paper 2020 September. We are discussing Paper 1 in physics. In previous part of our discussion, we completed first 5 problems in Paper 1, which belongs to only one option correct. We continue the discussion of JEE advanced problems. Now we go to the 6th problem of one option correct, only one option correct. Students, comes to the 6th problem of paper 1 of JEE main advanced examination. The question is, this is the problem belongs to fluid statics, an open end U-tube. This is the open end U-tube, U-shaped tube, having uniform cross-sectional area, contains water of density. Here this dotted region is water. So given that density of water is equal to 1000 kilogram per meter cube, density of water 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Initially the water level stands at 0.29 meter from the bottom in each arm. From the bottom in each arm on either side, water is at a height of 0.29 meter in each side. On left and right, in both the limbs of the U-tube, water stands to a height of 0.29 meter initially. Here, kerosene oil of density 800 kilogram per meter cube. So, rho K, density of kerosene oil is 800 kilogram per meter cube. Now, added to the left arm, this be the left arm. So, on the top of this water in left arm, kerosene oil having density 800 kilogram per meter cube is added to the left arm until the length of 0.1 meter as shown in the figure. So, as shown in this figure, this is kerosene. Length of kerosene column in left arm of U-tube is 0.1 meter. Until its length becomes 0.1 meter, kerosene is filled in the left arm of the U-tube as shown in the diagram. The ratio of H1 by H2 of the heights of the liquid as shown in the figure. So, this height is H1 and this height is H2. We have to find H1 by H2 value. So, that is the question. Here, this dotted region is the region filled with water. The region filled with water is 2 into 0.29 meter. Now, the region filled with water is numerically equal to, here this is H1, this is H2. H1 plus H2, students, H1 plus H2 is sum of H2 is only water, H1 is some part water and remaining part is kerosene. So, subtract the kerosene length part. So, H1 plus H2 minus 0.1. H2 from bottom to this position, H1 from bottom to the top. H1 plus H2 minus kerosene length gives exclusively the total length of water column. So, H1 plus H2 minus 0.1 is equal to total length of water, that is 2 into 0.29. 2 into 0.29. So, H1 plus H2 becomes 2 into 0.29, 0.58 plus 0.1. So, 0.68. 0.58, 2 into 0.29 value plus 0.1 means 0.68 meters is H1 plus H2 value, let it be 1. I have to find H1 by H2 ratio. Then to find that, let us consider this interface which connects the kerosene and water. Draw a horizontal line here. I extend it horizontally here. These are the 2 points on either limb of U-tube at same level. At same level, pressure is same. In fluid statics, we know that at same level, pressure must be same. So let this point be A, this point be B. We conclude that pressure at A is equal to pressure at B. To calculate pressure at B, we have to know the water column above point B. Let X be the water column above point B. This water level, see the diagram, the water level above point B is X. And we have to find X value to calculate pressure at B. Here draw the line here. This part is, simply we understood, this part is H1 minus H2. Because this level is H1, this is H2, so this part is H1 minus H2. Okay. So this one is equal to 0.1 meter. This point, this length equal to this one above B, the total height above A or above B, total height is 0.1. And this one is H1 minus H2. Then X is equal to, X is the height of water column. X is the height of water column above B. That is equal to, from this explanation, we write that is 0.1 minus of H1 minus H2. 0.1 minus of H1 minus H2 is the value of X, water column height. Then at same level in the given U2, pressure must be same. So equate that equation, pressure at A equal to pressure at B. Pressure at A, at the top atmospheric pressure is acting, so atmospheric pressure P0 plus atmospheric pressure P0 plus kerosene liquid column pressure. So H1 is 0.1 is the height of kerosene column, 0.1 is the height of kerosene column length, density of kerosene. Pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus H rho Z. H is 0.1, density of kerosene into Z. Pressure at B at this point is equal to, up to this level, atmospheric pressure is acting, P0, let it be atmospheric pressure, plus the water column pressure. Water column is X. X is equal to this one. Therefore, 0.1 minus of H1 minus H2 into density of water into G. Here on both sides, P0 get cancelled, atmospheric pressures, and substitute respective values. Therefore, 0.1 into density of kerosene is 800 into Z. This is 0.1 minus of H1 minus H2, and density of water is 1000. 0.1 minus H1 minus H2 into 1000 into Z. On both sides we cancel G. And 0.1 into 800, this is 80, is equal to, open the bracket, 0.1 into 1000, that is 100, minus 1000 into H1 minus H2. Shift this value to the LHS, it becomes plus, so 1000 into H1 minus H2 is equal to 100 minus 80, that is 20. Therefore, H1 minus H2 is 20 by 1000, that is 0.02. So, in equation 1 we have H1 plus H2, in equation 2 we have H1 minus H2, add these two equations, 1 plus 2. Add H1 plus H2 and H1 minus H2 values, we get 2H1 is equal to 0.7. Therefore, H1 is equal to 0.35. Substitute H1 is equal to 0.35 value in the above equation, and in equation 1 we get H2 is equal to When you substituting H1 0.35 in this equation, we get H2 is equal to 0.68 minus 0.35, that is 0.33. Then the ratio of H1 by H2, here we get the ratio of H1 to H2. H1 by H2 is equal to 0.35 by 0.33. That is equal to 35 divided by 33. Hence, option B, here we get this option B is correct, 35 by 33. Students, here, first of all, we equated the pressures at same level. Pressures at same level is equal. By equating that, we find the value of ratio of H1 to H2. So students, let us move on to the next problem. Belongs to atoms. A conceptual problem belongs to atoms. A particle of mass m moving in a circular path with its potential energy. Generally, we denote the potential energy by U. Now it is given by the formula V in function of R is equal to F into R. V in function of R, potential energy, is equal to Fr. Once again I write here, U is equal to V in function of R, that is equal to F into R. Let us observe, this is potential energy, where F is a positive constant, F is a constant, positive constant, and R is the distance from the origin. R is distance from origin, F is positive constant, then potential energy V in function of R is given by F into R. Its then we have to calculate, its energies are calculated using the Bode's model. Energies, potential energy, kinetic energy, total energy, these are energies calculated by using Bode's model. If the radius of the particle's orbit is denoted by R, so radius is denoted by the letter R. Radius is equal to R. Radius is denoted by the letter R. And speed of the particle is denoted by the V. Radius is denoted by the R. And speed is denoted by V. Then if the radius is denoted by R and speed is denoted by V, and energy is denoted by E, energy is denoted by the letter E, energy is equal to E, then we have to find the following options. Which of the following options are correct? We have to find the expression for radius, we have to find the expression for speed, we have to find the expression for energy. In that we have some constants like H is the Planck's constant, and here options are given. Students, let us look into the option. 4 options are given. Students, this is a question belongs to second section, in which multiple answers are correct. 1 or more options are correct. We have to select all correct number of options. This problem is a conceptual problem, belongs to atoms. Here potential energy is given, then force is calculated on the potential energy by the formula force is equal to minus du by dr. Force is equal to minus du by dr. Therefore, differentiating U value, U is Fr, then we get force is equal to d by dr minus d by dr of Fr. It is equal to F. So magnitude of force is equal to F. F is a constant. Given, mention that F is a constant, and use U is equal to F into R, and differentiating it, we get force is equal to F. In case of Bode's model, the necessary force to revolve the charged particle in orbit around the nucleus is provided by the centripetal force. The centripetal force, therefore force is equal to centripetal force, which is given by the formula mv square by r. The force provides the centripetal force to revolve the electron in its orbit, charged particle in its orbit. So mv square by r is equal to F. F is the given constant. First we get this one. mv square by r is equal to f. Let it be equation 1. As this is satisfying Bode's model, the angular momentum is equal to nh by 2 pi. In nth orbit, angular momentum is equal to mvr. Angular momentum of revolving particle. Mass is the m, mass of the particle is m, velocity, speed of the particle is v, r is the radius in nth orbit, then angular momentum is equal to integral multiple of h by 2 pi. That will be equation 2. mvr is equal to n into h by 2 pi. Angular momentum, mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi. By solving these two, we find radius. By eliminating v, we find radius obviously. So, from this equation, we write v is equal to nh divided by, on cross multiplying, we get v is equal to nh divided by 2 pi into mr. And substitute v value, that is nh by 2 pi mr in equation 1. So that we get m by r into v square value is m square h square divided by 4 pi square m square r square, 4 pi square m square r square. So m by r into, I substituted v square value such as m square h square by 4 pi square m square r square is equal to f. Here r into r is r square. On cross multiplying, let us write r cube value. From this we get r cube is equal to, on cross multiplying, write the r cube value. R cube value is m square h square divided by 4 pi square m and square get cancelled, we have m in denominator. On cross multiplying, we get r cube is equal to numerator m square h square 4 pi square m into f. This is r cube value. So that take cube root on both sides, we get r is equal to m square h square 4 pi square m into f whole power 1 by 3. Take cube root. Here this is r cube value. From that we get r is equal to, on cross multiplying, we get r cube value. Here from this we write r proportional to n power 2 by 3. Then later we compare this value with options. Multiple options are correct. Finally we verify them. So far we find r proportional to n square h square 4 pi square m of whole power 1 by 3. So that the relation particularly between r and n comes out as r proportional to n power 2 by 3. Then comes to velocity. Then substitute this relation in this formula especially. That v is equal to v proportional to n by, just I am writing the proportionality relation, that's enough to compare the answers. V proportional to n by r proportional to n power 2 by 3. This implies v proportional to n to the power of 1 by 3. This is second result. We have to compare them with which option is correct. So we get r proportional to n power 2 by 3 and v proportional to n power 1 by 3. Then comes to energy. Already we have potential energy as F into R. We have potential energy F into R. Then mv square by R is equal to F. Comes to first equation. mv square by R is equal to F. So that mv square is equal to R into F. Then kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. We know that kinetic energy is half mv square, that is Rf by 2. So potential energy, students, let us observe these two. Potential energy is Fr, where kinetic energy Rf by 2. Then total energy is sum of potential energy plus kinetic energy. That is Rf plus Rf by 2. Then total energy is equal to 3 into R into F divided by 2. So this is equal to 3 by 2 times R value. This is R value. n square h square 4 pi square mf whole power 1 by 3. Put r here into f. Take this f into this cube root so that we get m square h square. When f here brings into the cube root, it becomes f cube. F in cube root becomes f cube divided by 4 pi square mf whole to the power of 1 by 3. So f cube root 1f cancel and it becomes f square. So m square h square f square. Therefore ultimately we write the total energy is equal to 3 by 2 times m square h square f square divided by 4 pi square m whole power 1 by 3. These are the results. So here we have these three results, and we have to compare these results with given options to select correct options. R proportional to n to the power of 2 by 3, V proportional to n power 1 by 3. The students, in option B, we have this correct. R proportional to n power 2 by 3 and V proportional to n power 1 by 3. Both are correct in B option. And comes to total energy in C option. Here we compare this one. E is equal to total energy is 3 by 2 m square h square f square by 4 f square m whole power 1 by 3. So in this multiple option correct option question, we find B and C are correct. The students comes to let us move on to the next question. It is a question belongs to transmission of heat as well as the dual nature. So Einstein's equations. Here there is a filament bulb, a filament of light bulb has a surface area. This is the surface area 64 millimeter square, and we calculated surface area in meter square as 64 into 10 power minus 4 meter square, the surface area of the bulb. So here we have a bulb like this. The bulb is emitting radiations from it. So temperature of the bulb is 2500 Kelvin, and these radiations emitted from the bulb are observed by a person who is at a distance of 100 meters. From a distance of 100 meters, a person is observing the radiations coming from the bulb, and these radiations enters into the eye of the person. The radius of the pupil of the eye of the person is R0 is equal to 3 millimeters. Let it be R0, that is 3 into 10 power minus 3 meter. Then which of the following options are correct? 4 options are given. This is a multiple correct option question. We have to find out each option has given by a problem. We have to solve these 4 problems and find out the correct options. For that, some constants are given, and assume that the emission of radiation by the light as a black body. The light behaves like a black body, first thing. And Stefan's constant, this is the known one, 5.67 in 10 power minus 8 SI units. Wien's constant, 2.9 in 10 power minus 3 meter Kelvin. And Planck's constant, 6.63 10 power minus 30 into 10 power minus 34 joule second. And speed of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Then first question is about, when you comes to the first option, the power radiated, we have to calculate the power. The power radiated by the bulb is EA sigma T power 4. This is Stefan's law. Use Stefan's law. Power radiated by the bulb EA sigma T power 4, and it is also mentioned that it emits the light like a black body, so emissivity is 1. And substituting respective values, A value 64 into 10 power minus 6, sigma value and T value, and find out the answer, we get this is equal to 141.75 watt. 141.75 watt is the energy radiated by the bulb. So when you compare the given answer, so option A is wrong. In option A, given limits, this 141.75 watt power radiated by the bulb is not in the given range, hence first option is not correct. Then we go for the second option. A option is wrong. Comes to B question. Radiated power enter into eye. Read the B option. Radiated power enter into the eye, one eye of the observer, in the range 3.15 into 10 power minus 8 watt to 3.25 into 10 power minus 8 watt. So to check this one, when this bulb radiated emerges and comes into the eye, so let this be the eye of the person. So it enters into the eye having radiation R naught. Then light travels all the way. This distance is R and this is R naught. Then power received by the eye is equal to power intensity, power per unit area into area. So intensity means power per unit area. This is the intensity of light at position of the man. This is the power radiated by the bulb. Then intensity of light received, intensity of light at this position of the man, which is smaller distance away from the light, is intensity means power per unit area into energy received by the area is equal to pi r naught square. Intensity into area of cross section of the pupil of eye of the person. So we get, and calculating it, we find this one. Already we know P by 4 pi r square. The P value is 1 point, pi get cancelled. P value is 141.75 watt by 4 into R square means R is 100. So 10 power 4. 100 means 10 power 2 whole square, 10 power 4 into R naught square. R naught is the radius of the eye, which is 3 into 10 power minus 3 meter whole square means 9 into 10 to the power of minus 6. By simplifying it, we get this value is equal to 3.18 into 10 power minus 8. Power means watt. 3.18 into 10 power minus 8 watt. So here when you comes to the B option is correct. Because it is given 3.15 to 3.25 into 10 power minus 8 watt is the range. Between that range we have the answer. So option B is correct. So depending upon the answer, each option is one different problem. So we have to solve all the problems. Next comes to the, so B option, we answered the B option, we try for B option, we get it is correct. And then comes to option C. The wavelength corresponding to maximum intensity of light is 1160 nanometers. We have to check it. That is, we use Wien's displacement law. Wien's displacement law, wavelength corresponding to maximum energy emission is lambda m. Lambda m into T is equal to Wien's constant. Let it be B. That Wien's constant B, let this be B. Wien's constant B, 2.9 into 10 power minus 3. This implies on cross multiplying we find lambda m, B by T. B value is 2.9 into 10 power minus 3 meter Kelvin whole divided by, this is B value, by temperature is 2.5 into 10 to the power of 3. 2.9 by 2.5, that is 1.160 into 10 power minus 6 meters, also equal to 1160 into 10 power minus 9 meter. Hence 1160 10 power minus 9 meter means nanometers. Therefore the C option is also correct. C option is also correct. Okay, students, we are verifying all the options one by one. A is wrong and we get B and C are correct. Comes to D. Taking the average wavelength of emitted radiations to be, so average wavelength of emitted radiation to be considered as 1740 nanometers, that is 10 power minus 9 meters. 1740 nanometers. Total number of photons, so entering per second. So total number of photons emitting per second into one eye of the observer, total number of photons entering into the eye of the person in 1 second is in the options, range is given. We have to verify it. And we calculated power of the light entering into the eye is equal to, already in option B we get it, that is we find 3.18 into 10 power minus 8 watts. Then this is the power of light entering into the eye. From this we have to find out the number of photons entering into the eye. So power is equal to, if number of photons entering into the eye are n, then power is equal to nh nu or nhc by lambda. We have to find n value. Then n is equal to p into lambda by hc. Then p value 3.18 into 10 power minus 8 watts. P value into lambda, this is 1.740 into 10 power 1.740. I am writing the power at the top. Here from this we get, this is 10 power minus 6. 1.740 into 10 power minus 6 whole divided by P into lambda divided by hc. H is 6.63 into 10 power minus 34 into C value 3 into 10 power 8. By simplifying it, we get number of photons emitted is given by 2.79 into 10 power 11. By simplifying it, we get 2.79 in 10 power 11. So it is in fourth option, it is in the given range. 2.79 into 10 power 11. 10 power 11 is in the given range in the third option. So A, B, C, three options are correct. Students, let us move on to the next problem. Belongs to units and dimensions. It considered to be easy question. Sometimes it is convenient to represent a system of units so that all quantities can be expressed in terms of only one physical quantity in one such system. Dimensions of different quantities are given by, it is given as follows. The position is equal to x power alpha. The given data is like this. Position is equal to x power alpha. Then speed, in one new system it is defined by speed is equal to x power beta. And acceleration is given by x power p. And linear momentum is equal to x power q. Linear momentum, here I am writing x power q. Linear momentum is x power q. And force given by x power r. Then which of the following options are correct? Here we write one simple equation. We know that speed is equal to distance by time. Speed is equal to distance by time. Therefore, we write position by speed. Position by speed is time. As well as we know that acceleration is equal to rate of change of velocity, or speed by acceleration, let it be a, is also equal to time. And we know that force is the rate of change of momentum. Force is the rate of change of momentum. Therefore, momentum, let it be momentum divided by force is also equal to time. So according to the basic definitions, we write position by speed is time, speed by acceleration is time, momentum by force is also equal to time. Position means x power a divided by speed means x power alpha divided by x power beta, also equal to x power beta. Acceleration means x power p. Linear momentum x power q by force x power r. So we find x power alpha minus beta is equal to x power beta minus p equal to x power q minus r. So by equating first and second term x powers, alpha minus beta is equal to beta minus p is equal to q minus r. Alpha minus beta, consider this part, alpha minus beta is equal to beta minus p. From this we write alpha plus p is equal to 2 beta. Alpha plus b, alpha plus p is 2 beta. So among given options, the first option in which alpha plus p is equal to 2 beta, first option is correct. And similarly, in second option, P, Q, R, beta are compared. So equate second and third term. Comparing second and third term, we get the beta minus P is equal to Q minus R. This implies, to compare with the given options, beta plus R, or we write beta is equal to, we write value of beta. Beta is equal to P plus Q minus R. So from this we write beta value. So when it comes to second option is also correct. First and second options are correct. This is the very easy question from units and dimensions.